Whiskey and Wade going all the way. What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and Wade Show with me, your host, Tommy Mac.
And me, your better host, Tyrone McKenna.
And you know the correct by now, we are proudly sponsored by the #1 competition page in the world, Bar Kings.
Legends, cars, houses, holidays, kitchens, back gardens, clothes, hair dryers, anything you want.
Anything you want.
I had every single one. Still waiting.
So make
still
sure
waiting.
Still waiting. It's a waiting game. But make sure you hit it, and you can change your life for only a couple of shillings.
Yep.
Couple of Bob Dylans, and
Couple of Bob Dylans. I've never heard of it.
You all should know by now. You all should have watched it. The Spar on BBC iPlayer. This is a wee short, just a wee intro into the series that me and Tyrone has created.
It's 3 minutes long. You could literally log on.
It's not 3 minutes long.
How long is it?
It's about 7 minutes long.
7 minutes long. You can literally log on to BBC iPlayer while you're on the toilet and watch it. Boom. Quick.
You might get a dead hole while you're doing it, but watch it anyway. The Spar. It depends. No, it doesn't depend on them. Make sure you all love it. Let everybody know how much you love it, because we want to bring our creation of this series to all y'all.
So, do you know what? It's all loosely based on true stories. So, you know you're in for a treat when there's West Belfast true stories hitting the screen.
Whiskey and Wade run about like two maniacs. But anyway, we're joined today by another very special guest. This man is one of our own. He's a real Westie, and he's taken the boxing media world by storm. Who would have thought in the space of like a year, this man's at the top of the tree interviewing everyone in the boxing game. Folks, welcome to Alva Plunket Gym, Colm McGuigan.
What's happening? Does it feel weird being on the other side of the camera?
It does. Do you know, like, a lot of people have, like, over the past few weeks and stuff have been, since that Canelo clip, really been like, oh, we should do a podcast, and I've waited to do this one first. So. But I did have an elaborate plan, I need to be honest. So, like, I love doing pranks on people.
Yeah.
So I had an idea where I was going to prank you two. It didn't come to fruition because it all happened so quick.
What was it?
So I was going to, I was going to contact Shane Todd. Right, and I was going to get some woman to come in with me and pretend like she was like watching over the interview, an agent, because I knew his head would go and your head would definitely go, and he would be in her ear telling her what to say.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And I had that plan, and I was like, I'm definitely going to do it, but it all happened too quick, and I didn't want to ruin the.
Do you know what? To be honest, I fucking fell victim to a wee short. Quick prank last night.
He flipped out.
My head. I started getting a friggin' headache and everything. My blood pressure at the roof. And I texted him last night. It's still okay for the morning. Nah, Tyrone told me it's cancelled.
Do you know what? You bringing me in this and I cancelled it was a genius move because he knows that would happen.
I don't know.
And he flipped out. He texted me, what the fuck are you doing? I says, I looked down and did I cancel it? Because I started questioning myself going, I made a cancel it, you know. And I went, I didn't cancel it. And I said, he's winding me up. And then he'd paid.
But then I knew by the next response.
He'd already.
And I was like, okay, no, it
his missus has a black eye. It's fucking
the deep fibs on the way. I was having a heart attack. I thought I was having a stroke.
But listen, let's get into it. And then you worked for AFL. How long have you been working for him?
Jeez, good question. 2 years now?
I would like to say, and it's the first time I'm going to say it, I'm annoyed you got it because I actually applied for the job as well.
Did you?
You know, it was so weird whenever it happened because I was in America and I was like, a point in my life where I was like at a crossroads. It was like, I started that podcast with Ryan and Kieran during COVID, and I was like, through that podcast, it kind of like, it blew up quite well, to be fair. But
it was good.
We didn't have the, like, you have this, so we didn't have any of that. We didn't have any real backing. And really, because we were all spread out, like, Kieran was in London, Ram was in, where was he at the point? I forget, like Liverpool or something. And it really got to the point where, like, it was only Zooms and it was kind of beat out after COVID. So I just, by chance, seen that there was a job opportunity at AFL and basically got that. Was in the middle of New York and couldn't believe it. And I did hear that you went for it, to be fair. So it was.
But to be fair, I was never getting it because people in AFL probably thought mine was a wind up. It wasn't a wind up. If you're watching Cooking, it was actually a legit video. But yeah, they put in a video and say why you get it. And I done my one. It was a wee quirky bit of one, but I watched his one. He done the same kind of stay where he was.
Did you see, man?
Yeah, where you're walking down the street.
What did you see, man?
Listen, I see everything.
Don't have a dance. Can't trust anyone.
So he just walking down the street. What did you say? You say it's something stupid. You say.
Did I honestly?
It was good. It's something that
How did you see it?
I forget, but I was raising. I was like, let me see his interview. And I seen it. I was like, oh, fair enough.
No,
it was good. But he got the part, and from that you left brawl boxing, which no one's happy about. But
didn't leave brawl boxing. We've paused it. We will come back. We're going to rival with.
He's had a good thing with brawl boxing because you had like sort of Eddie Hearn. Because you knew a lot of big boxing names. He's got the big names on. The only thing down for said was it was Zoom.
Yeah.
Zoom is, I hate doing Zoom interviews. Like, you think you'd lose the vibe.
Yeah.
So if you were in the same room doing it, it'd have been unbelievable. But unfortunately, you're busy men.
Yeah, it just didn't.
One's an actor, one's a boxer or a footballer, and one's a media star.
But I think at some point we will come back, and like really at that point, the transition and the Shirley Kevy 4X transition.
Yeah, transition on a mission.
What a tune. It's a good tune.
Well, go ahead when you're transitioning from the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, really, I worked in a bank for years and then got to the point where like that kind of bored me a little bit. Went left field, went into the civil service and was like, right, and was in the civil service while I was doing IFL at the start, which was an absolute nightmare. And like they were really receptive to the fact that I was doing IFL, so it was tough because I was taking holidays upon holidays to go away. Like I was going to America to cover a fight, but taking a holiday to do it, and then coming straight back into work the week after. So it was tough.
Yeah.
But like also need to say like Jamie Connon and Mick Connon, like they gave me the opening because I wouldn't have really had the chance. Like I helped out with their socials, done stuff for them, and then it got to the point where like they opened doors for me and they didn't have to do that. So really, whenever I came into boxing, it was kind of through them and yourself as well. And Tommy, when you came on like brawl boxing and stuff, you just didn't have to give us your time. We were nobodies at that point.
Yeah.
Still nobodies, but
just look, you knew a lot of people in boxing before you even started.
Yeah.
So then it just kind of got to the point where like with IFL, it became too consistent and I was like, right, I have to leave the civil service. And my mum and dad were like, why are you leaving? Like it's a job for life. Because I had a really good position in the civil service.
Did you go to uni or anything?
No, I didn't go to university. That was probably a regret at the time, but actually looking back on it, I didn't need. Yeah, it worked out well for me. Like
so you left the security of the civil service to work in the IFL. And see, for people who don't understand, I'm one of those people. How do you make a living working on IFL?
Well, for the people that are listening and don't know what IFL is, IFL is a boxing media outlet. What's it stand for? I Film London.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest boxing outlet in media
in the industry. Yeah,
most legitimate.
Yeah, mostly. There we go. He wants to get the big words out. The most legitimate.
So
boxing.
How do you is it a gamble even work to become a?
Oh, like I mean, I had a secure job at the civil service where 9 out of 10 people would have said, "I'll stay in that job for the rest of my life," and just. Like civil service is a breeze, and I'm not being offensive to anyone who works in civil service, but it's very chilled, very laid back. You've got flexi hours, you can do what you want, you're guaranteed income. It's like there's a pathway to progression. Yeah. Whereas I was taking a chance, like, and my mum and dad, to be fair to them, were like, please don't do this. And I understand from a parent's perspective because you're looking at your son and you're like, they can go to university. All these things. Left the bank.
27, stop being a fucking dinosaur.
Literally, like I'm upstairs playing Call of Duty at that time. Like my man's like, oh, so what's he doing with his life? And then I'm like, oh man, I'm going to work for IFL. And she's like, what are you doing? But to be honest, it was the best thing I've ever done.
Were you worried when you did leave? So you're like, fuck me, what if this doesn't work out? Because see, to be honest, how big of boxing knowledge did you actually have going in that job? Because you did box for a wee tiny bit, but I wouldn't say you were like knee deep into boxing.
No, definitely wouldn't have said like my knowledge. Like for example, Kieran, who's on the podcast with me, would have way greater boxing knowledge than me. I even probably ran, to be honest. But then it got to the point where I was immersing myself every day in boxing, and like you know yourselves, it's quite a small niche thing where like it doesn't take a lifetime. And like I did. The reason why we started the podcast was because boxing was like an everyday conversation in our group chat. And during COVID, I said, lads, I think we should do this. I was doing a little bit in ESPN in America on the radio, and I got like a feel for that side of thing, like on the NFL, not on boxing.
Yeah.
And I was like, here, I think we should do this about boxing. And I kind of just came from there into the point where like they were saying to me, like, okay, let's do it. And we got people on, and then we had like special episodes. But for the boxing knowledge side of thing, like over time, it just gradually got to the point where like now, like, and even still, like sometimes I'm like, oh, like I don't realize that, or I don't. But I'm at the point now where I can hold my own. But obviously at the beginning, yeah, definitely, like I wouldn't have said I'd had the best.
Well, see, where would have been the first interview where you went, fuck me, I'm just about to interview this guy, and shit yourself? Because you've interviewed probably the biggest stars, the biggest stars in boxing. So
yeah, I think the first interview where I actually, so I don't research whenever I speak to anyone.
Do you not?
Which is weird.
Tommy McCarthy.
Everyone always says to me, like, how do you do it without notes or whatever? I don't know. And like these 30-minute sit downs with Eddie Hearn, I just go off the top of my head. It just flows.
And that's why they've become what they've become. Everyone loves them. Yeah.
But like whenever I first started, so I remember like the first one I was really nervous was Ed Sheeran, right? Because when he came to the fight,
been studying boxing his whole time.
But why I was so nervous with him was
going out and well, Canelo.
Because it all happened so quickly, and shout out Frank Smith who like organised it. But like I was brought into this, like it was probably something the size of this little bit here, and it was him and his team, and he was just drinking. So it was his security, his dad, him, and some bar woman in Dublin. And I just walked in and he looked at me, and like I was like sweating, like didn't know what was going on. I was like, didn't even know what I was going to ask him. It's a boxing fight. What am I going to ask Ed Sheeran? I was like, and I was trying to set up, and I noticed him take a step back and look at me like, does this guy have a clue what he's doing? And I was like, I just remember looking going, oh my God, this is Ed Sheeran. And he was just, he honestly just looked me up and down. And I think at that point, he knew he made me feel uncomfortable because I was like fretting. Yeah. Honestly, see my tripod, like the way that tripod's set, my tripod was like at an angle. And I was like, I just fixed it as quick as I could. I was told I only had 90 seconds with him. So I was like, I need to go. Like, so then I asked him a question or something. And at the start of the interview, I felt he was a little bit awkward. So I was like, I need to try and like break him in. So whenever I asked him a question, I asked him who he wanted to fight. And he said his dad.
His dad?
Like, yeah. Jesus Christ. I was like, what? And his dad was standing here, and I was like, so how do we kick off here? Ed Sheeran and his dad brawl because of me.
I'll be unbelievable.
And then when I then pushed him, I was like, you can't fight your dad. And then he was like, Lewis Capaldi. And then I knew at that point, I knew it was going to go viral because he said Lewis Capaldi. Yeah. But he obviously realised at the end of the interview, like, maybe he made me feel a little bit more nervous or whatever. That was the only time I've ever actually felt nervous. And then after the interview, I went to like pack my lopsided tripod up, and he was like, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I'm going back. And he's like, no, sit down here. And he just sat and talked to me for like, and it was like things that
everyone was talking about the Diddy parties. Nobody needs matching the Ed Sheeran parties.
But like, it was a conversation that he never needed to have with me. He was asking me about my mum and dad, my brother, sister, like, what are you doing? Like, where do you live? Like, honestly, the nicest guy I've ever met. Like, ever. Yeah. He was just so like, but maybe that was because he knew he made me feel awkward and he seen the tripod and whatever, but I don't know.
He probably didn't know as well, but you're coming in, probably didn't know like what way you're going to interview too, because you're boxing and he's used to doing entertainment media. So,
and then like I woke up the next morning, it was on like GQ, front of GQ, and all these things everywhere.
Your interview was everywhere. And another interview you had whenever was at YouTube one, or the YouTubers. The two YouTubers scrapping each other.
Do you know what?
That was one that blew you up most, I think.
That's the maddest day of my whole entire life. Like I literally walked into that, and I didn't really know, because it was my first YouTuber event, Misfits. Shout out Misfits, by the way, class, and maybe one day I'll end up on there.
Me as well. Get me a fit in Misfits.
I went to this in Austin, in Texas, and like a lot of people. Well, first of all, a lot of people see my job as like a holiday, and they're like, "Oh, you're on a holiday." It's honestly,
yeah, it is a holiday. He's going. In about every week I see him. He's in Mexico, Vegas, New York. He's in backstage of the biggest fights, talking to the biggest people.
I understand what you're saying, right? And I get it.
I know it's hard, right? It's hard work.
It's so lonely seeing you're by yourself, and he's like, there's been nights I've sat in hotel rooms in Tampa Bay, and I'm like, I was in a car crash in Tampa Bay in an Uber, right? And the Uber crashed.
That's right. I saw it on Instagram.
I had nothing to do. Like, I literally went back to my room, just sat there and looked into space. Nothing. My whole body was aching and all. I thought, like, whiplash wasn't even a thing. I was like, couldn't move. But, like, going back to the point, what did you say to me before?
He said you said people think your job's a holiday.
Yeah.
No, and he went his, and then you said
YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like that YouTube event was like the first one. I didn't know anyone because the regular boxing media don't naturally cover that. So the people around me were all people that I didn't really know. The boxers didn't have a clue about. I don't research these things, and I certainly don't research YouTube boxing. So I'm sitting there going like, right, what am I going to talk to these people about? But it just comes natural. It's weird. I don't know how, but it just comes natural to me. And I made a good connection on the first day with Anthony Taylor. So the guy who's like at the forefront of kind of everything. I don't know if you know him. He fought.
He's actually fought Tommy Fury.
Yeah, he fought in Bellator before he fought Tommy Fury. He's actually a really nice guy. Met him, got quite close to him, and then the next day after I'd first interviewed him, he said to me, it all kicked off at the presser, and Dylan Dennis came in and threw something or whatever, and then Anthony Taylor said to me, "Come with me," and I would never normally start filming. Something told me to start filming. So if you watch that video, I film from the second we're walking out of the room. So it's just me and him walking out of this room, and I'm walking behind him, and he just standers up to Dylan Dennis, who's outside having an argument with someone, and just cracks him, and then all chaos breaks out. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I know you've watched it, but you can't remember what it was actually like. No, I was dodging punches.
Really?
There was like some Asian fellow.
Who all kicked off then? Who?
It was like Dylan Dennis and Anthony Taylor mainly, but then this guy H2O Silva, who got involved, and his dad got involved, and someone else's dad got involved. There was about a 40-man brawl outside, and I was videoing this, ducking punches.
Like, your video was the one that got used everywhere.
Yeah, it was on the Ariel Helwani show and all, but there's another.
Show me the money.
There's another like side of the footage where you like see us like tripping over things. Like there's one point like I'm like running and like tripping over stuff. Like it's funny like watching it from that view. And when I think back to that moment, like that was really the first video I ever had that went proper viral. Like, it done like 30 million on Twitter and maybe like I think it done 1 million on YouTube, something like that. But it really went viral. So at that point I was like, right here, this YouTube game's actually good, for real. You know, like it's good to be at. But like those YouTubers, like being around them, you have to constantly like it's probably the hardest fight weeks because you don't really know. Like if I interview Canelo, I can speak to him about anything. And
I think with YouTubers as well, because they're from a YouTube background, they want to sell it even more. Where boxers are just like, I'm a fighter, you come to watch me fight. They have to sell their fights more because they aren't fighters. So you're working hard because you have to do all these interviews for them.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. No, 100%, you're right. Because they make their fame off like these moments. Like
everything, really, they're trying to go viral all the time.
Like, and everyone knew who Anthony Taylor was. Not that he wasn't before, but from that moment, everyone was like, here, Anthony Taylor can go. Because like he did rock down. That was like up against a van.
What would be the highlight of your so far media career? Except for interviewing me on Brawl Boxing, obviously.
Interviewing you too. Probably the moment where I was like, right, I've actually made it, maybe, is when Canelo knows who I am.
That's crazy, isn't it? Because he used to call you something else. What did he used to call you?
He called me, so the first name he ever called me was Ireland.
Ireland?
Yeah. And then he called me Colin, which a lot of people do, but I'll just take it.
That's fair enough, Colin.
Yeah. And he's speaking a different language.
No, I would just call each other Carnal, which is like a Mexican word.
What do you call him?
Carnal. It's like a Mexican word. It's
geez, you're right in there.
It's like my gangster almost, like my brother, like that type of thing. But the moment that I actually was weird one. It's like I went to Guadalajara for
been there.
Canelo.
Guadalajara,
great spot.
Oh, such a spot.
Great spot.
But I was really worried about going because, like, again, I didn't really know that many people.
It's
going.
nuts in there as well.
It's mental. Like,
mental place.
So there's a good man, you know him well, Paco, put me in touch with Canelo's brother. And Canelo's brother looked after me the whole week. Him and Muñeco.
They're from Guadalajara.
They're from Guadalajara. So it was Ryder against Canelo. And it was the most magical thing I've ever been in. Like,
serious?
In that stadium, like, I just can't explain to you what it was like. But his brother looked after me that whole week, and like anywhere I wanted to go, shout out Muñeco. He's a Mexican boxer, boxes for Canelo's brother, who also was a professional. And he just took me everywhere around Guadalajara the whole week, anywhere I wanted to go.
Do you ever get starstruck? Because obviously it's not just boxing people that you're going to be seeing. There's obviously the other week you saw Oasis, was there? Or Liam Gallagher? And
did you interview Liam Gallagher?
Nah, I couldn't interview him. Nah. Seemed like it was just they weren't allowed to.
Do you get see before like advances? Do you get told you have to interview Asians? You don't interview Asians?
Nah, never been told. Like, I've been told at points like I I don't want to say names, but some big stars, like I've asked, and they've said, nah, we're not doing it.
I'd see, like, when you do the interviews and they say something controversial, is there any times where they go, here, cut that out the fuck? Because if I've heard Ben Shalom, Ben, I hear you're at it all the time.
Shout out Ben Slum, no, to be fair, I really like Ben. Do you know his mum's from Belfast? Bet you
Is
wouldn't
she?
know that. Yeah, his mum's from Belfast.
Fuck, I know this.
Let's get him on the
He's
podcast.
one else, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben wouldn't get me on his shows, then make him on the podcast.
There is people who ask for things to be taken down, but normally I'm quite receptive to that, and AFL are quite receptive if it's something that's like maybe going to land them in legal trouble, because you never know. Like sometimes people say things.
Some interviews, you're just, because you're trying to make a good impression, you aren't thinking of what you're actually saying, and the next time you say something, you're like, I shouldn't have said that.
You used to know that better than anyone, because you've probably been in positions in fight weeks where you've maybe said something that's not that big of a deal, but you find, I should have.
Yeah, and it gets.
Nah, I stand over everything I said.
I just know because once it's out in the NFL, a lot of people are going to be watching it.
Yeah.
And then you're just sitting in your hotel room and you're seeing all the comments, because you're going to see everything in fight week because you're just bored in the hotel. So it's always escalated more when you say something mad on fight week.
Yeah,
I always be panicking fight week of man. Like, fuck's sake.
As Eddie hits, they make draws into the comments. Yeah, they don't care about the comments.
I had to do that at the start, like separate myself from reading the comments, because like a lot of people don't like my accent, and I know my mates.
But you know, it's just bullshit anyway, because like I'm a reformed troll. So I used to just like slobber about people, even if I didn't even mean it. You know, like
when did you reform?
Yeah,
when I forgot my Twitter password. Can't get back into my Twitter.
You're wild.
But like, nah, the comments don't mean anything. They're never really personal.
I like the comment. I love when people are slaying. I enjoy it. Like, see, AFL especially, I get slayed on that. Well, I used to. I don't even read them now, but I used to get slayed on. I used to enjoy it. Fucking call me Ned, because you used to have a mustache. You look like Ned Flanders. You're purified and all this shit. They're laughing. You look like you sniff bus seats.
You do look like you sniff
How did they know? I think I
They scooped me.
See, during your AFL journey, which has been 2 years now, in the last year, it seemed like you and Eddie's just became tight
besties.
I think I'm just honest. So I think he can tell when people are with him, if they're fake or they're on. And I feel like I would say to him, like, I slag him flat out about things that probably people would be afraid to say to him. And do you know what it is about Eddie? Like, it doesn't get said often enough. I know a lot of people hate him, and it's like some people love him, but he is genuinely one of the nicest guys in boxing.
He's 100%.
You know him really well, but like, I've seen him in situations with disabled kids or homeless people that other people will never see or know. And I've seen him in those situations where he probably doesn't even know I'm listening. I'm on my phone, and he's actually a proper genuine guy. And I think the whole thing is that people from the outside see this guy who, it is a circus at times. Like, he has to sell fights, you know, like there's maybe a fight in, I don't know, York Hall, that he doesn't really do York Hall, but those type of fights that he has to really bum and blow, and like people see that side of him and go, oh, he's an obnoxious prick or whatever, but he actually isn't.
But he's doing his job, you know. He's a promoter. He has to promote the shows, and I think Eddie is 100%. And the hate he gets is more pantomime kind of, but he's actually turned. The last wee while he's turned a corner, and he's more.
The last 6 months he started putting on everyone.
He has, but like, he's
hanging about with you too much. He thinks he can fight now.
Do you know, like, I remember we were in a report in Mother, and I'd say that was probably the trip where like I started having maybe a better relationship with him, because really before I was just interviewing him and getting little snippets here and not really talking outside of that. But we were in Monterey and our flight was delayed. There was a guy who made that fight week called Big Terry, and it became a running joke between us that like, it was this guy, I don't know if I can say too much about it, but this guy basically manages a fighter, and I hope he never watches this, but he was in a car, so it was like Eddie, Frank Smith, me and Big Terry in this big SUV, and we were just sitting there, and Big Terry was going on being like, have you guys ever been to the strip clubs and like in Monterey and all, like, no, like, he just thought like, he was like, all of you come in my jet tonight. We were like all looking at each other and all, like, he was just one of those guys, you know, like blowing himself. And me and Eddie like started joking around, and then I think that week It was just before Frank Warren and Eddie, but Frank Warren came out in an interview and said that he has to give me credit because I've interviewed Eddie 15 times in one fight week. And I didn't even know he knew who I was. So whenever he came out and said that, then I was sitting with Eddie, and then our flight was delayed coming out of Monterey, and we were like, we ended up going for dinner actually in the airport. And we went for dinner in this like restaurant in the airport, and it was in Mexican pesos. And I remember it was the first time I've probably slagged Eddie that was off camera, that wasn't like, and it was like taking a chance. Like, it was like, he paid for the dinner, and I think he tipped the girl 500 pesos, which is honestly about 50p. And I looked at him and I went, "Are you joking me? You give her, give her 50p?" And I was like, he like looked at me or something. I was like, "I'm serious. You better tip her." And then I think he did. And then I think at that point he was like, "Right, okay, we've got a bit of a relationship." And since then we kind of got to the point where, like, I'm not.
It's almost every day slagging each other on Instagram. Every day.
Yeah. He comes under my Instagram because I do like. I'll read it out to you. I messaged him the other day privately, but I never put this out on. I should have put it. But he put up something and he said, I'll read it to you. And 1 sec. Normally I post these things, but I decided not to. He was like,
so this is a world exclusive whiskey and weight.
He put up a poll about the fight night, the timings for fight night.
Right.
And I said, can we get a poll for your terrible outfit choices on fight night going forward too, mate? and he literally, do you know what? He's the guy. If you WhatsApp him, you'll never get a reply. But if you write him on Instagram, so if you ever need to message Eddie Hearn on Instagram, I think he's got something where like OCD, where he has to read your message.
He has to write back,
He has to, not even
read it. The same as that.
Yeah.
He doesn't get back to him on WhatsApp, but see on Instagram, get back to me.
Yeah, it's mad, but he's like, no, we can't, but we can get a cringe-o-meter for your Insta posts. And then I mess him, so he leave me on red sometimes. And then I messaged him under, I think you might have seen it, like a photo, Conor Ben put up a photo.
Yeah, seen it.
And I commented underneath it and tagged him and said, Eddie, what are you wearing, mate? Like, that's terrible. I was actually going to say
the dentist, you call him the dentist, don't you?
He looks like
a dentist.
A dental hygienist, I said.
Hygienist.
I said, what are you wearing? And then he got me because he wrote back and said it's actually for a Christmas appeal for kids.
So
he got like loads of likes, and he wrote to me going, I don't know who got schooled worse today, you or Simon Jordan. So he's like, he's just a normal guy. Like, the way we're having crack now, he's like, I think people don't see that side of him enough. And like Charlie Parsons and him, like, that's my favorite. I don't watch interviews. No, I never watch any real boxing interviews. Don't watch YouTube. Not my thing. Sorry, Whiskey and Wet.
Jesus, is that how it is?
Scum.
I just don't. It's not.
Listen to this on Spotify. Is that what you do?
All streaming platforms.
Only Whiskey and Wet. But like him and Charlie Parsons, like if you've never watched it, you just have to go watch. It is like comical. It's so good.
I've seen the clips on Instagram.
Those two together are amazing too, and it's like it just shows you like Eddie, when you're like a normal person with him and not maybe corporate or just talking about boxing, he actually opens up and he's a normal guy. But honestly, like
I find most people that are high up in their jobs always just want to be like one of the lads. I just want to be one of the lads. See if they start being like a lick hole or fucking brown nose and shit, they hate that.
Yeah.
So see, come here's the thing, right? So there was a time where I was wondering if you were half American or something.
Yeah.
Because you're always in America before, like watching NFL games and stuff. And then I seen you do an interview with, was it, what do you call him? Ryan Garcia, and you're like, hey Ryan, Colm McGuigan IFL, great fight champ. And I said, maybe he's just going back to his roots because he actually is American. But
I'm glad you brought this up because my mate slagged me flat out. Right, I'm not American. I first of all spent a lot of time in America because my family live there. Like I have uncles and stuff that own bars in New York, and they're good enough to let me stay with them before fight weeks and stuff. So I'm there quite a bit. And so
have you been going there, but like through it from you as a kid? Is that how you got into American sports and stuff?
Yeah, but like even aside from that, last year I spent I think 8 months out of the year in America. And like,
so do you have a visa for America?
Yeah, I've got a permanent visa now, so I can go there, and that's my plan one day, potentially live there. But I think like the voice thing's something I wanted to address because my mates slag me flat out, but no one understands how hard it is with our accent in these environments to speak. So the way I'm speaking to you now, you're laughing, but I'm serious. I know how many times I've stopped people, and it's messed me up in interviews because I've stopped them and went, like, I don't ask people for interviews because that's the worst thing you can do. I just start.
Yeah.
Because if I asked him,
Hey Ryan, how you good?
so, but if I went, "Hey Ryan, any chance for an interview?" Or mate, he would just walk on.
Yeah.
Because he'd go, "What? I don't even know what he
He's just
said."
scared.
So
He's
it's
talking
not that
Japanese.
I have that. It's like a Graham McDowell type of,
Yeah.
Boys.
and it is also because I spent so much time there. But like when I come back here, I'm talking normal, so it's not like it's a.
When I was in Philly training, I had to get in the certain words you definitely have to
you
like
have
see how they don't know what how is.
You
You have
can't
to say how.
Oh, definitely you do have to speak
You do.
clear.
How.
But when I saw that interview and you had the American accent, and then I see you were in America all the time, and I remember I seen you in the airport one time after one of my fights. I think it was I lost, but like I was here.
That's one of your fates.
And you were all right. Like,
Did I see you?
but you were going through one of the securities, and I was at the other security. You know when you put your bag through the X-ray, and I seen you and you looked over me and you had. No, that's that American shit. He's American.
I probably felt really
Stop
awkward.
covering
Did I
yourself.
feel-
Stop going up.
I'd maybe go, nah, he's American. That's
But listen,
I've never done that in my life, so I can't believe I've done
I don't. Tommy doesn't
that. I
lie.
can't believe I've done that.
But anyway, you're not only a what'd you call a reporter? Is it a reporter or a?
Yeah.
You're not only a reporter, but you're also my agent for a stint.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've done agency for a
Even
while.
Cody Banks.
Yeah. I still do that.
Do you?
That's
That's what I was going to ask you. You still
Can't
do it?
really say
Too
Who you're
much.
working for?
too much, but a lot of
He landed me my biggest sponsor, to be fair.
yeah.
That
Ever in your
I've ever
career?
had.
Yeah.
But it was OnlyFans, unfortunately, so
Yeah.
I had to leave them
Yeah.
halfway through.
Well,
So how much
well,
did you
Why
end
not? Did they kick off when I left?
Nah.
Did not?
Nah.
Well, why would
It sent
they?
a few emails at the start, and then that was it. I
Is
never
it?
heard anything
That's
else.
sweet. I got a letter from them.
Did
But,
you?
uh,
So how
send
did
me
you get
contacts
into
over. So,
Sweet.
how did you get into the agency again?
Do you know what? I didn't even just basically at the time with Tyrone and McConnell, I was like, I'm always thinking of like my next move, and like ultimately, like I've about 3 or 4 different things I'm doing at the minute, like outside of IFL, and like I just like being busy. I don't like doing nothing, and to be honest, it was just something I thought of one day. I was like, oh, I reckon I could do it. And then I got Tyrone and Mick a deal with OnlyFans. I was like, here, I'm actually pretty good at this.
Yeah.
And then it spiraled on, and like shout out the best prize company. I know you've got a different one, Prize Guy.
Trash.
We'll
I
close
help-
that out.
I help him with some things as well. And like I mean, he done the AJ Dubois fight last week,
Yeah.
so I got that sort of for him. Bellator and PFL, he's one of their main sponsors. Got that sort of for him. He's potentially doing Better Bevo. He's doing Fury Usyk. Like, so I don't know. Just
It kind of coincides with the other job you do have because you're in the same kind of people. You're going to be talking,
Yeah.
networking with the same kind of fucking.
Yeah, and
things.
it's an extra revenue stream that I seen, and I was like, do
Happy
that. And then
days.
through my American visa, again, shout out Paco, who I'm working with him and Samson. Done a show in Argentina last month, and like I've a big part to playing that, so I got it on the
Sure.
zone.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's what I think maybe down the line I would like to do is like venture into promoting maybe.
I know I actually
like
seen you putting a thing up saying that that was your goal was to be a promoter, and then did you promote a fight?
Yeah, well, I was with Samson and Paco, but I helped them do it, and I just think, it's something I definitely wouldn't say no to down the line. So maybe not anytime soon. Like I'm really enjoying everything with AFL at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying all the stuff.
Does it not get melted sometimes that you have to live out of your suitcase? Like you're constantly away, like constantly.
I know, like the issue with it is my family and stuff and my mates. Like I haven't been home since May there, and before that I was only home once. So like I've only really been home twice in 2024, and I thought I was going to be home for longer now, but I have to go to Saudi. So I'm like constantly just have a suitcase, and it does get a wee bit.
Did it fly in business class or
Nah.
economy every time?
I try and fly with the same airline, so now I've got enough points with United Airlines. Shout out United Airlines that I've got. I tend to get like economy plus or business if there's an upgrade available for free. But no, it'll just be economy. Like I don't care. I don't care about that. I'll sit in the back of the plane. No problem.
Do you know, I
Don't-
always
you don't
used to
have
be
to
like,
lie
I
to
don't
us.
care.
I'm
People
serious.
to get a wee taste of business.
Yeah.
You
Settle
never
home.
want to go back.
Nah.
I've only had it once. You only had it once?
Yeah.
And now I hate flying. So I've been flying since I was friggin' 4 weeks old. Never had a relationship. Nah, I hate it
But you
after
have to
I was
understand, like,
stand.
I've done 139 flights this year, so this is going to be my 140th next week.
Were you talking about Saudi? Were you nervous for the first time meeting Turkey?
Yeah.
His
Just
Excellency, if for people that don't know who he is, he's His Excellency, and he's basically took over boxing at the minute. Like he's funded the biggest face that you see now. He's funded. He's getting on the show, Rahid show. Is it?
Huh?
What do you call
Riyadh
it?
season.
Riyadh season. Sorry,
Right.
but like he's funded all that, and he's making boxing unbelievable. What's he like as a person? Obviously, you've met him a few times.
I was nervous at the start because, like, it's royalty and meeting royalty. It's not something that I'm used to, but he followed me quite early on whenever he first came into boxing. And I always thought, like, that's a bit weird. And I remember saying to Eddie and stuff, and I was like, why has he followed you for? Not being funny, but like, why did he follow me at the start? But he just loves boxing. Like, I've sat in meetings with him, and like, they are off the record meetings, so I can't say exactly what was said, but there was like, so the meeting would be like all the main media, and like, I already feel like I shouldn't be there when I'm looking around the room, and it's like Jim White, who I watched as a kid on Sky Sports. I'm like, what's it like? I'm sitting here beside him, and all these massive names, and then it's just like me and Parsons sitting in the corner, like, and then like he comes in, he's just like, he's a breath of fresh air, honestly. And I know like people will see it and say all these different things about Saudi Arabia and all these things about what they're doing for the sport, but I promise you that man knows more about boxing than anyone I've ever met in my life. He is a fanatic, and I think that's why he's investing so much.
Has he always been a fanatic in boxing?
Yeah, he said. Why
is he only getting into boxing now?
I think, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'd be wrong to give you information I don't know, but I think it was really just this whole Riyadh season thing that they're doing, and because he's got such a passion for boxing, he was like, I want the money to go there. But it's unbelievable for boxing because you know yourselves, like,
it is. Everyone's getting paid.
It's unreal fights,
and it's good for being here. You don't have to set up until the early hours to watch them.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love it. But also, what's great about it is Eddie's fighting Frank Warren fighters. Like everyone's fighting everyone. That's the things boxers have always dreamed of. It's finally happened. So,
but he's so like, when he sits in a room and he starts talking, like, everyone listens. But he's so like honest that like, he's having a go at Jim White sitting there about Simon Jordan's comments on things. He doesn't care. He's just saying it. I'd say
everyone's scared of him, but to be honest, he can say anything he wants.
I don't know about scared. Well, like, maybe, but when you sit in that room, like, and he, like, all the media and stuff, like, he gave me like a gold pen, like made of gold, like this pen. It's honestly insane.
Must have sold.
Still got a turkey. Don't worry. But like, he's just a proper boxing fanatic, and I think that's good for the sport.
You were saying now, like, when you're in these meetings, you have a wee bit of imposter syndrome. How do you deal with it, or how do you overcome it?
Honestly, I just stay quiet until someone starts speaking to me, because I never want to come across as a know-it-all, or I never want to come. I have things I would love to say, but there's a time and a place, and I think in these situations that I'm only some kid from Blacks Road in West Belfast. I'm not going to have any influence on what these big dogs are thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Is there anyone in your room where you're just going, he's a dick, he should be sitting down, shutting up?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, in an age where YouTube boxing's happening and misfits and all that shit, who in the boxing world would you want to scrap? Who you call
in the media world?
In the media world, not boxers.
I don't know. I've always
Eddie. You and Eddie in the ring.
Eddie Hearn?
AFL
spark Eddie out.
He thought of you?
No,
he's too big for you. He's too big
He's
for
too
you.
tall. No, mate. Honestly, I'd be like Tyson. I'd be
Eddie v. Colm, the next misfits. That's kind of
I think there'd be
Bill.
I wonder what the weight difference would be between us two. Don't know, but I honestly,
Eddie's lost a lot of weight over the last week.
What are you
He's in shape.
What are you trying to say?
He's not heavy.
You done boxing for a while, didn't you?
When I was a kid, like nothing.
Whoa, no. I heard you done boxing a few years ago, and Brian McLaughlin battered you in sport. That's a word in the street.
No, he definitely didn't. Sparring, stay sparring. No,
but what's the plan going in the future? I mean, AFL, is it going to be a long-term thing, or are you thinking for the next couple of years?
Start your own. CFL.
Or you're doing your promoting? What's going to take a forefront in the next few months?
No, I think I'll always have AFL somewhere around me, because they've given me so much, and like, to be honest with you, I've really enjoyed everything about AFL. I do think eventually, when I settle down and I get a wife and kids, I don't think this life's kind of feasible. Like, I couldn't go away every week. Whether it's at IFL or not, I don't know. But for the next few years, definitely IFL is the one. And I want to branch out. Like I do a little bit on ESPN in America on the radio for NFL, which is so funny because the whole reason that they get me on, and so I'm on in Hawaii and Albany in New York, and the reason why they get me on that is because the listeners hear my voice and they're like, how the fuck does he have any idea about the NFL or baseball?
So you doing NFL on ESPN?
Yeah,
I thought you said IFL.
No, NFL and NFL and baseball, but I do it less now because obviously everything's just manic. But when I do go on that show, I try and do it every few weeks, and like it's like,
would you have big knowledge in that?
Yeah, to be honest, just taught myself everything. Like I do have really decent knowledge on
NFL,
baseball, NFL, Giants, terrible team, but. Yeah.
What about, do you follow baseball? Or?
Yeah, love baseball.
Like, I think baseball would be very boring.
I only think that.
I watch them and I'm like, who the fuck wants it? Like, that's something we played when we were fucking 6 rounders, for fuck's sake. I don't want to fucking watch grown men doing that.
I love it, honestly. And they've changed the rules, so it's shorter now. So
who do you support?
The Yankees. And they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fucking, that's more or less saying, I support Real Madrid.
Not really, because you have to respect the Giants. The Giants are a terrible NFL team.
Everyone supports the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's the only team you know. I support the Cubs myself.
The Cubs. But what's over in Saudi next week? What fight is it?
Better be Bivol. So
is that one you're going to?
I plan on not being at it, but yeah.
Who do you fancy for that?
I think Bivol.
Beef, do you? A lot of people say, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Better
be. Just hits so hard. Like the punch powers just.
Who would be your dream? You get 3 celebrities for your dream interview. Who are you going for?
Anyone doesn't have to be boxing. Sir Alex Ferguson, definitely.
Legend.
Cristiano Ronaldo, when I came so close.
Really?
Came so close to getting him.
Born.
You may get him or next week.
Yeah. Like, his interviews are all the same. Oh, I play football and I'm very good. And that's it. There's never any crack of it.
I don't think you ever watched the interviews. I've never heard him say that once.
Well, why is he saying that?
No, I think he's. But he's a different level of fame. Like honestly, I came like this.
You
close
could
to
get him.
Was that over in Kakachi's fight?
Yeah,
you never got it.
Like I mean, like so close to it.
What happened that you didn't get it?
Cupman Ireland was getting the photo with him.
Cupman, fuck's sake.
Done me in.
But right, so Liam 2 and who's the third? Dead or alive? Can be dead.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to get one boxer.
You don't have to. I'm not big in the boxing. I'd rather get someone else on. So who would be your 3?
My 3.
Michael Jackson would be one.
Michael Jackson.
He loves Michael Jackson.
Beyonce.
It's been sad. I bet you're loving this nowadays, this dirty shit. Because it's now clearing Michael Jackson's name in the top.
No, Michael Jackson was not what people say was.
Exactly.
I know that, but of course he wasn't. Because Diddy was there doing it himself.
Listen to me. Diddy and Michael Jackson have nothing to do with each other. Yeah. Michael Jackson is the king of pop.
I agree.
And he never touched any kids. I don't know what more you want.
I actually watched him.
He gave him his bed.
Yeah, I watched him.
And it got misconstrued.
Did you ever see that interview of that guy who's like, honestly, he was just giving us his bed out of like being a nice guy. Like, and then it all just spiraled out of control. And
Martin Bashir manipulated it to make it look a certain way. And
Tommy knows.
Martin Bashir, friggin' Michael Jackson welcomed him into his home, and then Bashir hoodwinked him, and then changed it, and then he attacked him in the end. So Bashir is a dick, and Michael Jackson's innocent. He's innocent on all charges. What more do you want? I know.
I'm only joking. I just like when you. To be honest, I play Michael Jackson all the time.
It's cheesy.
But what? See, being over at Saudi's in particular, Kakachi's fight. That's one fight I was jealous that you were at. When he won world title. What was that?
Honestly,
weekend? Because I was a week before the 5v5, wasn't it?
I actually felt bad that week because first of all, I would be quite friendly with Joe Cordina, so I felt like.
So you're Team Cordina?
No.
Team Cordina. Kakachi watching this? Team Cordina?
I think Cordina team were probably a little bit pissed off I was with Kakachi so much.
Oh, really?
But
people get it. Boxers get it. Of course, boxers are going to have mates. If they're from the same city, they're going to be friendly with them.
Yeah. But I got a text message on like the Tuesday or Wednesday. Don't know if Anto said this to you, but I got a text message on the Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was like, I'm not going to say who from, they know who it is. And they text me saying, any truth in Anto having a broken rib? Everyone's saying in West Belfast, the lump on Cordina. And like, I don't bet or anything. And I was going like, so I looked at this and I was like, what do I do? So I stupidly.
Did you know already?
No.
You didn't know?
So I stupidly said to Anto before I interviewed him, and it's a lesson in my.
Tyrone's out there text me.
It wasn't me.
Not everyone knows. Not everyone knows it was Tyrone. Right? So when Tyrone texted me, I was like, I looked at it and I went, I can't believe Tyrone's texting me. So I said like, although Tyrone's texting me, what do I do? So Anto looked at that message and his face like went, and I just went, I shouldn't have done that. And that was a lesson to me.
Yeah, because I would play in his head.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
So then he goes to me, who sent this now? And I showed him and he was like, red. And he goes, because it said someone's name in the message too. So that it was like one of the forwarded WhatsApp classic.
Yeah.
It was like, someone says that Anto's got a broken rib, right? So that person, he was like, I know who that is or something. He's like, why? And then I was like, oh, I'm sorry, mate. And then the team started coming around. They were all like, who sent that? And I was like, oh, this is a whole world of trouble here. I was like, I wish. And that's a lesson for me. In the future, if that happens, I'd maybe go to someone's manager. I wouldn't go to them.
Yeah.
But so I unsettled him and I felt like if he loses on Saturday,
It's on their head.
so I was so nervous. So that fight week became for me like,
hell.
oh, genuinely, you just don't even understand. I couldn't sleep. See, the night before that fight, I was going to myself, I've actually ruined his chances of becoming a world champion.
Do you know what? That's the way I would be as well.
But that's such an honest thing. Like, I genuinely would never have thought.
Yeah.
I've never been a boxer. I've never known the mental struggle that you have went through in your career. So whenever I seen it, I was like, oh my God. And then Anto then told me the truth that he did have a broken rib. I was like,
when he told me about it before he went, I was like, happy days, this means you're going to win. He told me everything that was going wrong for him. The more negatives made me feel more positive about the fight, because Anto's just one of them guys.
The shitter he is, the better he is.
Yeah. And I was like, yep. Broken rib, get the R rib broke. Let's go.
See, before the last one, we walked past Kakachis and Kakachis there. Like, Tommy's like, how's your camp going? He's like, brilliant. He's like, no, it's not. It's going shit.
I actually went up and spoke to Mickey Hoggins. We done a session though in the last one. He was training his balls off. I pulled Mickey to say this. Mickey, what's going on here? You know the drill. And then Mickey was laughing. He says, no, Mickey, I'm being serious. We're going to do a circuit this week. Cancel that circuit now.
Mickey Hoggins cracks up. But he said, I've never fucking seen anything like he should be training harder than he just fucking wins everything. He always does.
Mickey Hoggins is a legend.
He's a legend.
Do you know whenever all that kind of happened, then Anto and his team were asking me, does Cordina know? And I was going, no. And I was thinking, if Cordina finds out about this,
he's going to go for it.
One, he's going to go for it, and two, they're going to think it was me that told him. So I'm sitting going, oh my God, this is a nightmare.
And thinking back, he didn't actually attack the body.
I
think Josh Warrington must have got the message after the fact, because he was going for the body all night. That was months ago as well.
But like, Anto's life has changed forever now, and like that big fight next against Lee, can you imagine that in the field in Belfast? Lee Wood? That would be like
Lee Wood. That's
you and Jose Felix in the co-main.
I would love
Dom Smith getting back.
I would love Jose Felix rematch. That was great.
I know he went on to do well in his career.
Well, but that's where I want to catch a fight in Belfast, because he had fought in Belfast since he's won the world title, obviously. And then I would love him to fight Lee Wood out of the options that he has. I mean, obviously he's got Nunes and stuff, but Lee would be a great one because
class.
I'd rather Vegas so we can get a trip to Vegas.
Well, that's true as well.
Like,
did you come to Wembley?
Nah,
no, I didn't.
Because the real reason, and I phoned Nando and told him as well, because I was emotionally invested. I'm actually, as you know, we're around those mates. And I was like, I'm not going to go away for the weekend, everyone drinking, talking shit to me about the fight. And then...
But what changes in Vegas?
In Vegas?
No one knows you.
Vegas is different. You're in an arena. You're not in a stadium. They were there texting me, what's it like? We can't see. Yeah, well, not Tyrone. Tyrone had a good seat. But all the lads were texting in the group, well, how's it going? What are they saying? And it looked... See, when the fight was over, when the main event was over, I was glad I didn't go, because then I just went to bed. But in Vegas... You know, you're up all night.
You'll just sleep.
As soon as Joshua lost, I was like, right, bad then, let's go. I couldn't have thought of anything worse going about Wembley, trying to get back the hotel.
I like because McGregor came in that fight, obviously.
You done
So
McGregor. You've been to McGregor. He's done some big names.
McGregor was the funniest one in my life
Really?
because whenever I got him, like it actually done unreal numbers to be fair, but I got a photo with him and that was sweet. And then the next day, I don't know how I done this, but I wormed my way into things and I wormed my way into his private party in the 3 Arena.
Mm.
And I got in there and he walked in and I could see him looking at me and no one had their phones out. And I was doing the usual like little Instagram story, like just around the room and then put it back in my pocket. And I think he clocked me doing that. And he still had his eye on me, and I was like, I need to feel a wee bit like
Gonna get you in an arm.
So I was like, so I got my hair cut that morning that morning, some fella cut our hair, and I went up to McGregor and I said, here, can I get a photo? And he went, you pleading got one yesterday. And I went, you remember it? And I went, I mate, but I got my hair cut. And he started laughing. So I thought, oh, we're mates now. Like.
Yeah.
So I went, oh, can I get it? And he went, yeah. And I put my arm around him like that, and he just whispered in my ear, get your fucking hands off. And I just went, oh, Jesus. I was like, get that photo, get me out of here. But do you know him as well? Like he's such an aura about him. Like when he walks in, I don't know if you've ever met him.
No.
Nah. Whenever he walks in the room, it's like, I can't even explain it. There's just like, I actually like him, and I know a lot of people don't, but when he walked into the room, like it's like
you just feel it.
You just everyone, like there's no one looking anywhere else other than McGregor.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine that.
There's a couple of people they got in boxing. I mean, and Katie Taylor's they got.
Oh, Katie's, yeah. I made her cry in an interview though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hi. Fuck's sake. Katie's a legend. You're making her cry.
But in a nice way. So
okay.
I forget the name of the channel, but some guy from a channel, I feel bad saying that, but some guy from Ireland in a channel, I just went mind blank. Really sorry.
RT.
But he asked me to read a letter to her that was from Deirdre Gogarty, one of the trailblazers in Irish women's boxing and women's boxing in general.
Shout out Deirdre's got the weak statue and all that.
Yeah. So he asked me to read this letter from Deirdre to Katie. So I had the letter on my phone and I said, I was in the middle of my interview and I said, Katie, look, I've got a letter to read out to you. And I was about three words into it and I just seen her starting to cry and I was like, God.
Already?
I was like, it's going to get worse. Because I knew what was coming. So I went through this whole thing and she was like, crying. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I stop the interview and give her a hug? Like, what do I do here? But
what did you do?
She's such a... I continued the interview.
Oh, jeez.
It was really cool. I'll give her a hug after it.
Sure you did.
But do you know, like, she's just a really nice...
she's a legend.
She's a legend.
Proper the nicest girl in the world. She wouldn't say a bad word about anyone.
And like, even... There's... I hope she wouldn't mind me saying this, but there's another time I went to interview her and there was a queue of maybe like, let's say 20 people, and it was the day before Chantal Cameron 2. And there was about 20 people. I was at the front of it, and Michelle Joy Phelps. And she kind of, it was the only time I've ever seen her. She just went, everyone out apart from these two. And she just done our 2 interviews.
Just she used it?
Yeah.
And why?
I don't know. I think maybe because she maybe remembered that moment that made her cry. And which kind of felt a bit of a relationship there. But everyone else got turfed out. And I've never seen her in that way. But I think when you get, and you know yourself, when you get to the top level, you have to be, especially around media stuff, you can't be sitting there for 3 hours doing media. You have to make decisions and
be selfish.
You have to at some point. But that was the only time I've ever seen her not be like nice kitty like doing it.
Yeah. I've seen her up.
A couple of times. Remember, we were in a training camp, and I'm notoriously a bad runner, so I was struggling on the run. And me and Katie's at the back.
Katie's not done leg run.
He's done leg run there. It's fucking bollocks. I know. This is not. It's the only time I ever go. It's fucking bullshit. we're not margin runners. He's like, oh, okay. But that bugger who bugged me too is like 15k run. I was like,
oh my god,
what are we doing around the mountains?
We've talked enough shit today. We're going to do a bit of a Patreon review after this. So if you want to watch that, people, get on to Patreon. Yep. It's only £2 a month. Shout out to our Kings. Make sure to watch our show
the Spar on BBC iPlayer.
Yep.
And quickly, just a quick shout out for Carl Dids, loves the show, asks for shout out.
Yeah.
He just get my name in there, so yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Shout out. And thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and share. Legends.
Peace.
Boom.
With him going all the way.